Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods up here. And let me say, happy Memorial Day, and thank you for all of those veterans who made the ultimate sacrifice and are no longer here. Now, we have some people that look for the gotcha moment. You know, all weekend I've been going through and saying, listen, understand what this weekend is about. It's not just for you to have a day off so you can stuff your face with some hamburgers and hot dogs, the unofficial start of summer. It's about those veterans that are no longer with us. And what I said, because like when I die, I hope that the people that want to show up for my funeral and cry there also come by and say, you know what, we really like you, Mark. You're actually cool people, While I'm alive, appreciate me while I'm there breathing can hear it. And that's what I said with the veterans. If you know someone who's a veteran or you see a soldier, thank them. That it's not just about Veterans Day saying thank you. It should be every day because we need to take care of our military that keep us safe, that have kept freedom for us. I get all choked up here just even talking about it. But my point being is it shouldn't be just a Veterans Day thank you. It needs to be all the time. So the thing that drives me crazy, when I think about the narratives, there's always some pet teams in the offseason. Right now, the Cleveland Browns, the Doo-Doo Browns, are one of those teams that everybody's on the bandwagon with. They have them winning their division. They're a Super Bowl favorite. Even though there's other teams that did better than them last year that seem to have improved and all that, it's still the Cleveland Browns that they have at like 8th or ninth. And we're talking about a team that hasn't had a winning season since 2007. Let me say that again. Hasn't had a winning season since 2007. I know they've gone out and they've got a lot of talented guys in there. They got Odell Beckham Jr. and stuff. They've got Landry. They got Baker, Moneymaker and all that for a quarterback. But understand that there's always the off-season champions. See the Washington Redskins, the team that goes out and gets all the free agents and stuff. But for me, it feels like deja vu. I feel like we have been here many, many times before, and we've heard the same kind of stuff that's going on. Like,
what about the pieces that this team has added in this past few days?
Oh, dream team.
Really?
No.
Really?
Really?
From Nande to Camardi, from Jason to myself,
Really? Really? Really?
I know they're going to do some more things. It's just beautiful.
Here's the thing. Back in 2011, the Eagles were coming off of a 10-6 season where they've been close, and literally 3 years in a row they were in the playoffs, and they could get to the playoffs, but they just couldn't get over the hump. And Andy Reid was actually great at getting players and keeping a team going because they were the last team to be back-to-back NFC East champions, 2002, 2003, and 2004. They won our division. And they dominated with Andy Reid by going through and drafting well. But it just wasn't enough. They decided, you know what? We're going to push all the chips in. We are all in, and we are going to go ahead and we're going to get talent. They got Vince Young, who had some good years with Tennessee. He was a little bit off, spent a lot of money at Cheesecake Factory and other ways of wasting his money, but we won't go into that. They got Michael Vick. Michael Vick, who took over for Kevin Kolb after getting knocked out and played really well for him. They went out. They had Deshaun Jackson. This is when Deshaun was a young pup. Deshaun's coming back this year, just saying. But they signed who was thought to be a great cornerback, that nobody had ever heard of, in Nnamdi Asomugha, to a 5-year big-time deal. They went out and got Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. They got Cullen Jenkins from the Green Bay Packers. They got Jason Babin. They literally got everybody. They just went in and we're buying the Super Bowl. And everybody was like, oh, man, that is the dream team. And even Vince Young, man, we got all these people together, man. This is the dream team. And unfortunately, it wasn't the NBA All-Stars that played in that first Olympics that truly was a dream team. But they were the darling of the offseason. And going into preseason, this is what they said. They were ranked third. The Eagles have been dubbed the dream team because of their many, many acquisitions. Some of the stars include cornerback Nnamdi Asomugha, cornerback Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, Vince Young, Ronnie Brown. I forgot about Ronnie Brown. Ronnie Brown, the Wildcat. The Wildcat came back with Ronnie Brown, and Ronnie Brown was doing that thing up. It was like everybody was like, damn, we got to get this Wildcat. And several others. But like I said, they ended up having Deshaun Jackson. They ended up having Colin Jenkins in there. Matthias, offensive lineman, Jason Babineau. And they put them all together, and they figured they were going to be the dream team. There's no doubt the Eagles have an extreme amount of pure talent, but the Miami Heat should have shown that throwing a bunch of talented athletes together does not automatically equate a championship. Key thing right there. That's the problem. As we learned last year, and generally speaking, when you look at rookies, you'll notice that rookies don't always start out great the first part of the season, but as the year goes on, they get better because they begin to learn what's expected and what's going on with the system that they're playing in. And when you throw a whole bunch of people together, everybody's new. You got Baker Mayfield, who's now going to be throwing to Odell, who's not showing up for OTAs. Okay? So you've got that dynamic. You've got Baker Mayfield in his second season where they have this thing called sophomore slump. That is a real thing, where he may come back down to earth. You've got the personality of Odell Beckham and laundry and things like that. You've got things that are going to have to go together and work. And football, more than anything else, is not about having stars. Because many times we see great players that don't get a ring. You look at T.O. Hall of Famer, wasn't enough. You look at, Chad Ochocinco. You look at a lot of, Megatron. You have to have all these pieces that work together as a team. And to just think that because they've got these pieces that the Cleveland Browns are automatically going to be good, I'm sorry to tell you, every year we have an off-season champion, a team that goes out and signs tons and tons of free agents, but very, very rarely has it worked out. Now for the Eagles, I have to give you credit because you guys did make a lot of off-season moves that ended up with you guys being in the Super Bowl. The only other example I can say of that is probably the Denver Broncos and getting Peyton Manning, as well as DeMarcus Ware, and maybe one final one would be the original Reggie White. So that's where we look at this and think, I'm not going for it. Until they prove to me that they are in fact a winner and start having some wins put together and seeing these guys together, I ain't believing it. And I think that they're going to be this year's disappointing team because of the hype that's being put behind them. I'm sorry. The Cleveland Browns, the Doo-Doo Browns, the mistake by the lake, will still be not in the Super Bowl. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate mail on this one. So, Odell, bring it. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern. And we'll talk about whether or not Stephen Jones is now in charge of the Dallas Cowboys, and if he is spending less money, and if it's going to hurt the Dallas Cowboys. We'll talk about that as well as anything else. Dallas Cowboys. I'll see you at 9.